503 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. The engine block is from Mercedes. The engine surprised me because of how loud it is at full throttle. Here's how the engine sounds. I expect the sound to be dull, and instead it sounds more visceral than the McLaren 570S that I drove. The engine sounds naturally aspirated and sounds like a race car. One bad thing about the engine is you can't really hear the turbo whooshes like you do in McLaren's or the Porsche 911 Turbo S. Only for a split second when you floor the car from driving normal you can hear the turbo spooling up, then it fades away, unlike other twin turbo engines where the turbo noise is constant. Here's an example of the Koenigsegg 121. Each upshift makes an aggressive sound, but when you downshift, it's disappointing because it doesn't create any crackles from the exhaust or mechanical movements from the engine. Here's the difference of what a Huracan downshift makes versus this Vantage. Traction control is a small issue with this car only when you're at 0 miles per hour or at very low speeds, because at full throttle the car just stops RPM going higher at 4K RPM for a small pause that lasts like half a second, then the car starts accelerating. From 50 miles per hour and above, traction control problems go away. Controlling the car during full throttle acceleration is effortless because of the amount of grip you have from this equilibrium stability. The stability is as good as the McLaren 570S and Ferrari 488 GTB or Lamborghini Huracan. With great power, you need incredible stopping power, and these brakes do just that. It's mind-blowing of how quickly supercars like this slow down from high speeds. Seats are comfortable to drive this car for hours. Visibility is always better with mid-engine supercars due to the hood being extremely low. The benefits of having a turbocharged engine versus a supercharger is that the hood doesn't need to be raised higher to comply with the supercharger vertical height. The acceleration isn't quite as fast like the McLarens, Lamborghinis, or Ferraris because the mid-engine layout transfers power to the wheel faster. Engine RPM redline is at 8,500 RPM, and the carbon fiber body makes acceleration 3 times faster. And the horsepower output is relatively low. 600 horsepower should be at least the minimum for the Vantage. In comparison, with 4 liters of air displacement, McLaren got 825 horsepower that is on the McLaren Sabri and 814 horsepower on the McLaren Senna GTR, and 503 horsepower is on this car. The car is definitely daily drivable due to the nice suspension that provides smooth road comfortability. The front headlight design of the car isn't my favorite, but still looks good. The rear taillight design is my favorite part of this car, and I think it looks better than the McLaren 570S rear taillight and the Lamborghini Huracan. Inside the interior, the display is small, but at least you have one unlike the Ferraris, which you don't have one at all. There are a lot of buttons on this car compared to its rivals. Some people may like having a lot of buttons, but other people prefer all the controls to be in the display like in McLaren's. I tested the sound system on this car, and the bass from songs sound amazing from the high quality speakers. Aston Martins are reliable because on the market there are quite a few of them that have 20,000 miles to as high as 70,000 miles. As long as you take care of the scheduled maintenance like oil changes and actually drive the car to let the fluids run properly instead of keeping the engines in your garage, then the engine can last 10 years or more. Supercar engines like this have expensive parts that are able to tolerate with hard acceleration, so there's no need to worry about damaging engine parts from constantly doing full throttle accelerations over and over again. This will be all for the review. Hope everyone that watched this gets to buy a supercar in the near future, and keep up the hustle.